I just love doing this work. And I just love the look on people's faces when they look at you and they say, how was that done? Was that me? And basically, yes, it was you. There are things that we have to realize, or let me just go back a little bit. To put it all in perspective, we have basically three things that we can look at. We have the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and our bodies. The conscious mind is what we engage in conversation on a daily basis. We interact with our environment with our conscious minds, with little tiny insertions from the subconscious. Then we have the subconscious mind, which is basically everything that we've ever experienced, everything that we've ever done, everything that we've ever had done to us, is all stored in the subconscious mind and is very, very real and is very fresh. It's always fresh. So what we do when we're walking through our environment and we come across something that we don't like, that thing that we come across is only a trigger. And what it does is it causes us to access a movie or a situation that was similar, and it brings it up. It's almost like a DVD player playing a DVD for us. So basically when that movie is played, it says this is how you have to respond when you see this. And it may make you cry, it may make you laugh, it may make you fall in love. Another example of that is when we go to a movie theater and we're watching a really sad movie, and I might be crying my head off, but the person next to me isn't. And a few other people aren't crying, and a few other people are. Well, the people who are crying, they can identify with that because it's in their experience, it's in their subconscious mind. And what their subconscious mind has done in response to the trigger, which is the movie, was bring up similar situations. And there may be more than one experience that they may draw upon, and that's due to the law of associative memory. But the end result is the same. It's basically a trigger that we pick up consciously that sends signals to the subconscious mind to deliver up these little memories or thoughts, and it causes us to respond in a specific way. So that's why somebody who watches a sad movie isn't crying and somebody is, because the person that is crying, that situation is in their experience, while the person that's not crying, it's not in their experience. So what we try to do is say, okay, so if everything is triggered, which in our experience it is, emotionally, then how do we fix it? Well, we fix it by correcting the energetic disruption in the body's energy system. And we do that through Meridian Tapping. And what Meridian Tapping does is when you're in the midst of a bad thought, a bothersome memory, or an actual event that you're experiencing in the moment, you can actually feel your body going through an energetic disruption. You feel it from head to toe, like a feeling in your chest, a feeling in your stomach, or you feel faint. And that is proof positive of the energetic disruption in progress. Using Meridian Tapping, you can actually tap on these specific meridian endpoints that we use, and you can actually break up that disruption and return the body back to balance, and you will alleviate or totally decrease the emotional zing that goes with what you're experiencing. Before we go on, let's just get a little understanding of the process that goes on within the body. There is a chemical for every single emotion that the human condition can experience. And when we experience a specific emotion, a part of the brain called the hypothalamus assembles short-chain amino acids into something called a peptide, for all intents and purposes a chemical. And when we experience a specific emotion, let's say anger, and the hypothalamus releases the peptide for anger directly into the bloodstream, and it goes to every single cell of your body. And that's pretty significant when you consider that you have over 50 trillion cells in your body. So now we have these peptides that are making their way to every single cell of our body, specifically those parts of the body that deal with the processing of that emotion. And over the course of time, if somebody continually experiences that emotion, let's say for example at home you're always experiencing fear, at work you're experiencing fear, and in our environment, in our unsafe communities, one could be experiencing fear continually. And after bombarding your cells with the peptide for fear, there becomes an inability for the cell to pick up nutrients and vitamins and proteins that the cell needs in order to function properly. What happens is that each cell has receptors, over 1 million receptors on its surface. And what happens is these peptides dock on the surface of the cell and occupies that receptor. So if you're cascading your cells with the peptide for fear, you're going to have less of an ability to pick up the things that your cell needs in order to remain healthy. And then what happens is people get sick. And it's not a coincidence that, for example, we call it a flu season, when in fact, if you take a look at what's going on around flu season, well, Christmas is right around the corner, kids are going back to school, and there's a lot of stress involved with that. And so what happens is people become stressed out, and stress triggers all kinds of responses biochemically in the body. Peptides are released. The cell has the inability to pick up the nutrients and the things that it needs, and not to mention too that stress also is an immune system suppressor. So no wonder people get sick. But I just think it's a little funny that people will talk of the flu season when in fact it's basically more like a stress season.